All right, this is Eric Jesse again. And for the second lesson, I will be doing 13.8, which is the 5 sentence summary. So for this one, Jonah, this strategy, we need to think about the text as mostly after you read it, but obviously you want to think about it while you're reading it. And you want to capture what the 5 most important events of what we read, and you need to remember them in order that they happen. So while you're doing this, I'll just show this. I have this picture example that will probably make it easier for us both to understand. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you see that? The summarized.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay. So then while you, after we're done reading, you will have your paper, and then you need to start with your pinky finger and say out loud first. So here's just the example. So like you go straight in order of the events that happened. So looking at the pinky finger first, she just got a fish for a pet, although she wanted the dog. Then you look at your ring finger, which is next. Next, she took good care of it. Then you want to look at the middle finger. Then it got sick, and then you need to look at the pointer finger, which is and then the fish died. And then the thumb, which is finally. And then just their example they have here is she buried it while her parents watched. Okay, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it
What we're
does.
trying to do? Okay,
Yeah, it
so
does.
we'll read and then we will go over your summary with your paper and whatnot. So I will share my screen again. I should have kept it shared. Okay, can you see the book?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so the book is just obviously called My Life as a Diamond by Jenny Manzer. Okay, so we'll read. Hopefully, we have enough time for about 2 chapters, so we'll see where we're at after the first one for sure. So you can go ahead and start reading, bud.
Alright. It all started with a haircut. A week before my 10th birthday, I came home from school and told my mom I wanted my hair to be cut, like now. My hair suddenly felt like this heavy, weighted thing. My hair suddenly felt like this heavy, weighted thing, not right on my head at all. I always wore it in a single braid and kept it thumping me on the back when I ran, like someone tapping me on the shoulder. You have baseball practice, my mom said. I always had baseball practice. I was on 2 baseball teams, one for regular kids and the other for players who were really good. I don't mean to brag, but it's the truth. Even when I was 5 years old, I could throw the ball almost to the end of a street. We can make it on time, I said. It won't take long. She must have known by my tone it was serious because she agreed, and we drove to the chop shop at the mall. My hands were trembling a bit, the way they did when I practiced pitching and lost track of time. But some days you just know. Some days you just know something. The chop shop was one of those cheapo hair places, but it had special sheets for kids, red lace cuts for boys, and splashy pinks for girls. Hi, Cassandra, said Alina. She had been cutting my hair since I was 3. There's a photo in a family album of me getting my first real haircut with her. She's dabbing my nose with a big brush and sweeps away the hair, and I am laughing. This day, though, I was not laughing. I sat down in one of the regular chairs for adults before she could ask which kid sheet I wanted. Just here for the trim? She asked, taking out the elastic band from my blade. She raked her fingers through my brown hair. The salon smelled of citrus shampoo.
Citrus.
Citrus shampoo. I usually enjoyed having lathered into my hair, but there's no time for that. I remember thinking, this is it. No, I said, I'd like to cut it all off. Oh, she said, short and sassy, like short hair, don't care? She asked, glancing at my mom in the mirror. Short hair, don't care was what all the celebrities tweeted when they chopped off their hair. Even I knew that. My mom held her purse in front of her chest. She looked like if she were prepared, um, to be hit for wild pitch. I do care. I want it short, I said, and crossed my arms. I was already wearing my baseball uniform, red and white, number 3, my lucky number. Okay, you're the boss. I'll just take a few inches to start off in case you change your mind. But the scissors slowly closed over a chunk of my hair. In the first piece fell to the floor. Lena started working faster then, whistling under her breath, her fingers deft with scissors. Still good? Asked Lena, stopping to look at me in the mirror. She smiled. She had round cheeks with lots of pink rouge and a shiny red blonde hair that she sometimes wore curly and sometimes wore flat, as if she ironed it. I'd always liked Elena. She often wanted details about my latest basketball game. Keep
Baseball.
cutting, please. Oh, baseball game. Keep cutting, please, I said. My mom's eyes got bigger as more and more of the hair covered the floor tiles. The gong pile reminded me of the grass trimmings left behind after my parents cut the line. Cassie, are you sure? Elena asked. Mr. Cadman, is this okay? I was so sure. I was like Mike Trout strung up in the outfield to make one of those amazing airborne catches and stop a home run. It was time to do something. Take a jump. I guess I'd never thought about the other player, the one who denied the line. The one who shuffles back into the dugout. The one who's disappointed because they imagined it would turn out differently. I hadn't thought about my mom. What's her hair? Said my mom in a tiny voice when she couldn't get enough air. When Elena was done, I ran my hand over my hair. It was cut just below my ears, but not buzzed or spiky, so it felt smooth and cool. I ran my fingers along the back of my neck. My head felt light and free. My mom picked up a piece of my hair on the salon floor and tucked it into her purse. Her eyes met in the mirror, but we didn't say anything. She went to the counter where Elena was ringing up the cost of the haircut. Elena was singing along under her breath to the pop music piped in, cheerful as ever. Like it was no big deal that I had just had all my hair shorn off. Lots of baseball players wear their helmets long, flowing past their helmets. A few have bald or shaved heads, like Albert Pujols or Adrian Beltre. But they all have their own style. Now I had mine. On the way to practice, I knew I had to say something else to say. Mom, I like you to call me Cass, like my new basketball name. Cassie, this has gone far enough. My daughter and I named you Cassandra. Quinn can call you Cass, but I'll call you Cassie. Cassie is a girl name, Mom. I don't want a girl's name. My mom darted into a spot at the ballpark crookedly, her hands gripping the steering wheel. She cranked up the parking brake. Cassie, you're a girl. She stared at me, looking confused as if fog were steaming a window between us and she couldn't quite see me. My mom had soft brown eyes and shoulder-length hair the same shade as mine. She wears one swipe of lipstick and that's it. Mom, I said, my breath heaving out and making a whooshing sound like a fastball past your ear. I don't think I am a girl. And not long after that, everything changed. I decided my full name would be Casper. My dad got a new job flying paint for an American company. We moved from our house in Toronto all the way to Washington State, a place with lots of wind and hardly any snow. I left my own baseball team, the Leslieville Lightning. I left my favorite league team, the Toronto Blue Jays. My dad let me see one last game at Rogers Center.
Yeah, that's right.
And I cried when the players came out, even for Ace, the Blue Jays mascot with the number 00. That's what happened when we moved. My dad was set My dials was set back to 00. We went thousands of miles away where nobody knew us. And only my mom, dad, dog, and my dog. Only my mom, my dad, my dog, and I ever knew that I had been called Cassandra.
All right. I think we're gonna stop there just so we don't run out of time, and we can do our summarizing hand strategy just for that first step. Does that work for you?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll show the picture I have again. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. You got your paper available?
Mhm.
Okay. So I just want you first to write first on a line, and then maybe skip 2 or 3 lines and then write next. You see how they have that over there on the one on the side of the paper or the picture, and then skip a couple more lines and write then, and then skip a couple more lines and write and then skip a couple lines and write finally. Does that make sense? Okay, good deal. Okay, let me know when you're done writing those, and then we can go over the hand. And remember, these only have to be one sentence, so it's not like we have to write a ton of stuff, you know? Have you wrote some already?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have for your pinky? We'll just I would just hear what you have.
For
The
my
first.
I have Cassandra wants her haircut.
Okay. Do you have a next? Your
Yeah,
ring
next.
finger?
Yeah, for next for my ring finger, I have she goes to the shop, which is the haircut place in the mall.
Okay. That's good.
And
Do you
then
have a middle finger?
oh yeah, for then I have that her mother doesn't really want her to get her haircuts, but she lets her anyway.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a pointer finger?
No, I don't have one.
Okay. So pointer finger, and then what do you think would be a good sentence or what happened in the first chapter?
And then I could put that Cassandra wants her mom to call her Kaz, but her mom doesn't want to.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. You can write that one down.
And then for finally, I could say that she changes her name to Cushion, I think. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then she changed her name and she moved. So no, only her close family knew that she had had changed her name to had that she had ever been called Cassandra. So.
Okay. All right. That sounds good to me. Why don't you just read what you wrote in order there so we can just hear it like flow together. Does that make sense? Why would we want to do that?
First, Cassandra wants her haircut. Next, she goes to the chop shop, which is the haircut place in the mall. Then she goes. Then she Then her mom doesn't want her too much to cut her hair, but she lets Cassandra anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cassandra wants her mom to call her Kaz, but her mom doesn't want to. And then for finally, they move, and she changes her name to Carson, and only her family ever knew she was named Cassandra. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. How do you think that went?
Pretty good.
Did you like that strategy?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. But thanks for being so good and getting it done with me tonight. So thank you.